think the trouble started because of some celery. 3 years of conflict with my sister-in-law over some celery. Might be hard to believe, but this is the experience I lived through. Of course, it was not just the celery. At the time, I was living with my brother and his wife. And like in every house, little eccentricities, annoyances get in the way, which cause grief. So it was in this house. But my reaction was to just ignore it, or to try to make room for it. Of course, this policy fell apart when we got to the celery. I had moved out, and all communication had ceased. Times were very tense. My brother and his wife had their first child, and I was not able to come to see my new little nephew. The fallout from our fighting meant I did not get to see my brother much either, and this rift was causing a lot of pain to others in the family. This insanity lasted for 1 year. In this time, I had come to the conclusion that what was needed is honesty. If only I had been open about all the things that had annoyed me earlier, the celery incident would not have happened. I look back at the past, and it quickly dawned on me that I had been at fault 1% of the time, and my sister-in-law 99% of the time. A simple solution presented itself. If I could just open her eyes with honesty, then surely peace will come from it. We arranged to meet. At this meeting, we tried to look at all the past incidents. I became very frustrated that her ideas of the past were quite different to my own. Honesty from me did not bring peace. It just got her even more upset. She left the meeting very bitter, and I was confused. Okay, honesty didn't work. I need to include another aspect. Unselfishness. Yes, I can take 10% of the blame, and I'll even apologize for my tiny part of the past. Now that's real unselfishness, if I may say so. Yeah, with unselfishness, I'm sure peace will come very fast. Took another year before we met. In this second meeting, with unselfishness as my guide, I was sure to succeed. I started the meeting with apologizing for those small incidents where I could have been, maybe just a little, at fault. My sister-in-law took my apology. Then I waited and waited. Yet to my great surprise, she did not apologize. I became outraged. She was trying to make it look like it was all my fault. Couldn't she see that she was 90% wrong? Had she so quickly forgot her own role in all this mess? Well, I had to apply a lot of honesty to remind her of what really happened. Unfortunately, I don't think I kept my emotions very well in check and had to leave the meeting fuming and furious. It had been a complete failure. Try to give a little unselfishly, and the other just takes it all and gives nothing back. There definitely was no peace between us. How could there be, if it was all so one-sided? Time passes. My nephew is growing up, but I see him only on photos or the very rare family occasion. This conflict is costing us a very high price. It slowly dawns on me that indeed, my motives have never been about peace. Either I was trying to prove something, or about who was right, or even about being generous. It had never been just about peace. I saw then the need for purity, the purity of motive which had been ignored in the previous meetings. This time, when I was going to meet, I was going only for peace. It took another year before we met for afternoon tea. I brought a cake along too, it always helps. This time, I did not talk about the past, or about who was right, or what percentage of fault was mine or hers. We just started afresh, a first, very delicate, gentle step towards peace. And I got to meet my nephew. He was already over 3 years old. My relationship with my sister-in-law has taught me many things about living together, about the power of motives, and about the fragile nature of relationships. But the main lesson has been, avoid celery.
Ouch! What?
Oh. This is the root of all conflict. Or is it a legume? Or a tuber? Doesn't matter. Avoid celery.